Hi there and welcome back. This is Jennifer McGuire. Today I am sharing with you a fun fold card design. This is something you can do with any products you likely already have, but I will be featuring some really creative and innovative products that I saw at the Creativation Craft Show. I'm excited to finally get to use them today. Now I think it's best to show you the completed card first. I made 3 in this video, but here's one of them. It's this fun fold card that you pull the sides out and it opens up to reveal your message inside. I also used these butterflies, and if you look closely, they have foil on them, so it has beautiful shine to it. So we'll create this card plus 2 others in this video. I'm using the Gina K Butterfly Kisses stamp set. This is a beautiful 6x8 stamp set that can be used alone, and you can see it has layering images and some nice sentiments. To match this stamp set, you can also get the Gina K Butterfly Kisses Foil Mates sheets. I have mine stored with my stamp set. There are 10 sheets in a pack, and these sheets have pre-printed toner butterfly images that perfectly match the stamp set. The nice thing about these pre-printed sheets is that you can use these with foil, and I'll show you how today. But you can see they match up nicely with the stamp set. There are also coordinating dies that you can get. So you could use one of these alone or use 2 together or all 3, as I will be today. This is a really creative product because you can incorporate stamping, foiling, and die cutting all together. So I have one of those printed sheets in my MISTI stamping tool. You can use an acrylic block to do the stamping if that's all you have. I'm positioning the solid butterfly stamp right on top of that printed butterfly in the center there. Now I'm stamping with dye ink over this image. I recommend doing dye inks for this. That's what Gina says works best. And I'm stamping once with a light pink ink, but I decided that was a little too light, so I'm coming in with peach Bellini ink and stamping that on top to make it a little bit darker and a little more coral. I will do the same thing with another butterfly here on the bottom, but this time I'll stamp with a dandelion yellow ink. So I am stamping right on top of that black printing. That black printing is toner, and toner is what you need to make foil stick nicely. Okay, so I'm going to cut these out, and I'll use the coordinating dies to die cut them. If you want to, you could just cut these by hand, but the dies sure make it easy to do. Now it's time to foil. Anywhere you see that black toner printed, the foil will stick to beautifully. I'm using various colors of Gina K foils. They are beautiful foils that just give great results and gorgeous colors. I'm cutting some small pieces that I'll add to these butterflies. These are special foils that are perfect for transferring. Any of the ThermoWeb foils will work great. I have a piece of cardstock here, just scrap cardstock. I'm laying my die cut down and then the foil on top of it with the pretty side facing up. I'll put this into a piece of folded parchment paper. This parchment paper actually comes with the Gina K foil products, and I'll run this through a laminator. You can use any laminator that you may have. This is an older laminator that was inexpensive, and I don't think they make it anymore, but I'll link to one that I know also works well. If you have a Mink machine, that works great for this too. Now the laminator applies both heat and pressure, which causes that foil to permanently become stuck to that black toner that was printed. I mean, it's permanently stuck there. It becomes one with the paper, so it leaves behind this beautiful shine, and you don't have to worry about it scratching or rubbing off. It's beautiful. Next, I'm using a black pen just to color in the body and the antenna on the butterfly, just to make it stand out a little bit more. Before I add these butterflies to a card, I want to show you some more foil pieces that I created with these products. So I have some more of the printed butterflies in my MISTI. This time, instead of stamping on top of it with a colored ink, I'm actually going to stamp on it with a black dye ink instead. So what we'll do is completely cover up that toner that's underneath, but it's still there. You don't see it, but it is still there. I'll let this dry, and then we will foil on it. The foil will only stick to the black toner, not the black ink. This time I'm using some sparkly foil from Gina K. These are gorgeous. They catch the light beautifully. I'm laying that foil on top of that black butterfly, run it through my laminator, and when I remove the foil sticks to just the toner and I'm left with that black ink outline. So it just gives a different result than the one that we did before with the colored ink. And I really like this, that it has that black outline. Next, I'm going to create a few more foil pieces using the Gina K Where Flowers Bloom stamp set and foil mates. You can see the printed sheet here and how it goes nicely with the stamp set. So these can be used separately or together. I put the printed sheet into my MISTI and I'm stamping the leaves right on top with green dye ink. Next, I'm cutting some pieces of Gina K Foil. This is some sparkly green foil that's just gorgeous. And then I will die cut out my leaves. Now I have my leaves on my little piece of cardstock here, and then I will put the foil on top and then put that inside the folded parchment. They recommend putting that cardstock piece in there just to give a little bit of a shim to it to make sure the foil transfers. And check this out, you get that gorgeous foil outline using those printed sheets and the foil. Now remember, these printed sheets are foil mates that are special for foiling. They're printed with toner. Toner is what you need to cause foil to fuse to paper. If you have a laser jet printer, you can use that for foiling also. You can print your own things, but these match up very nicely with the stamps and dies and makes it super easy. Okay, now it's time to do the fun fold card design. To do this, you need to start with an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock and score it right down the middle at 4 1/4. Then I'm going to turn it and cut it in half at 5.5 inches. So what I have ended up with here are 2 note cards that are 4 1/4 by 5.5. And these are side folding, so there's 2 note cards that are exactly the same. Now to create that fun fold, I'll take one of the cards and open it up. I'm using my trimmer to do my scoring, but you can use a scoreboard if that's what you have. I'm scoring at 2 1/8 of an inch from one edge of the note card, and I'll fold that over to meet with the crease on the note card. So we have this fun little Z fold on the front of this card. On the other side of the card, I'll cut off just a little bit, about 1/8 of an inch. Now with the other note card, we'll do the same scoring. Open it up and score it about 2 1/8 of an inch from the edge and fold that over also. This time you don't need to cut a little bit off the edge of this one. So now we have these 2 cards that will glue together in the back so that we have that fun opening. Okay, so the card that has a little bit cut off the edge, I'm tucking into the other one, and I'll use some strong adhesive to adhere these together. You can use any type of adhesive here, just make sure you use enough that you don't have to worry about the card coming undone. So I'm taking the other card, placing it right inside, and I'll close this up so that the 2 creases meet in the middle, and there we have the fun fold card design. I wanted to add some interest to the front of those panels, so I'm using the W+9 Tossed Floral background die. This is a new one that I really like, and it's beautiful white on white for the background of cards. Adds a little bit of interest, but isn't too distracting. After I die cut it from white cardstock, I'm cutting it right down the center so I can add it to the 2 flaps on the front of my card. I popped all the little pieces out, and I'm using Gina K Connect glue to put tiny little dots of adhesive here and there over the back of this die cut. I'm adding this to the front of my card on this panel on the left, and I'm making sure that that cut edge of the die cut lines up with the creased edge on the front of the card. I will take the other die cut and add it to the other side of the card, making sure that they meet up in the middle where the card opens up. There are many ways you can create a card with this fun fold card design, but I really like creating a pattern that extends across the front. I think it adds a lot to it. Okay, now it's time to add our butterflies. The largest butterfly I'm adding to the center of the card, and I'm only putting foam tape on the back of his left wing, so he adheres to the left side of the card. Now the other 2 butterflies, I'll put foam tape on the back of the right side of their wing. The reason I'm doing that is that these will stick to the right side of the card. So when you open up the card, you have the butterflies going in different directions. It just adds some fun interest. So I'll add this one to the bottom, and you'll see that the bodies line up with that opening in the center of the card. Again, I'm only putting that foam tape on the right side, and I'll put that towards the top of the card. I did go back and squirt a little bit of strong liquid adhesive behind those butterflies just to make sure they stay put. There you can see how the card opens up nicely. Now it's time to add sentiment to this card. I'm using these 2 stamp sets in this video. For this particular card, I'm using the Tiny Type stamp set that you see on the right. I added a sentiment strip to the front of the card and also a sentiment on the inside. The stamp set on the left is called On My Mind from Gina K, and I use that on my leaf card coming up. So you can see the little sentiment strip that I added to the front of the card. And here I'm using a black glaze pen just to color over the body to give it some shine. So here is the final card. You can see that beautiful foil on the butterflies. When you open up the card, it says Just Because on the inside, and there's room to write your message. When you close the card, the butterflies kind of lock in together, and it opens and closes easily. You can do any kind of positioning of die cuts on the front of this as long as it opens and closes nicely. That's why I have a little bit of a separation between the butterflies. Here is the second card that I made. This one uses those butterflies that I did with the black stamping and those kind of sparkly foils. Everything else about the card is very similar, but I just liked having a different look to the butterflies. This is the card that I created with the leaves that I foiled earlier. The sentiment is from that On My Mind Gina K stamp set, and I added some little gemstones. You can see that one leaf is attached to the left and each leaf is attached to the right, so that it opens and closes with the images kind of separating and then coming back together. Another fun thing about this card design is it displays nicely as it stands up very easily on your table. So there you have it, a fun fold card design. I hope you give it a try. If you're interested in these supplies, they're linked below, as always, in my YouTube description. You can go to my blog for more photos. If you're interested in learning more about foiling, there are a couple other videos there in the middle. I appreciate you spending time with me. I hope to see you again soon, and have a great day.